What if I told you that Team USA just put together their best roster ever? Yeah, even better than the 1992 Dream Team or the 2008 Redeem Team. We're talking about a lineup stacked with future Hall of Famers, perfectly balanced, and seemingly unbeatable. Team USA has been having a tough time on the international stage lately, with other countries really stepping up their game. It's been a wake-up call that they can't just send their C or even B team and expect to dominate anymore. Now, heading into the Olympics this summer, the US is on a mission to remind everyone who's the best in the basketball world. They're ready to take revenge and prove that they still own the court. After losing in the semifinals of last year's World Cup to Germany, Team USA decided enough was enough. They swapped out guys like Austin Reeves, Bobby Portis, and Walker Kessler for Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. It doesn't matter how old those guys are. When they step on the court together, you're always the underdog. No matter how big of a lead you get against this team, you have to play perfect basketball to win. And even then, that C still might not be enough. A big issue with the Team USA World Cup team was just that. They were a C team. They didn't have a fully developed superstar to rely on. Surely they had Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards. But let's be real, those guys aren't Steph Curry, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant. They're great players, but there's levels to this game. In the Olympics, Kevin Durant is the all-time leader in total points, scoring average, field goals made, three-pointers made, and free throws. He's a superstar you can count on to score whenever needed. His stats tell the story. He's leading in almost every major category. Not far behind him, LeBron James is third all-time in total points. Now picture having two of the top three all-time scorers on Team USA playing alongside the greatest shooter of all time. The Paris Olympics is Steph Curry's Olympic debut, but there's no doubt his skills will fit right in. This team was built with depth in mind, and with the talent they've got, the lineup possibilities are endless. Spacing the floor proved super effective during the Celtics finals run, and Team USA has all the tools to run a 5-out offense. Just think about it. A lineup with Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid averages a three-point shooting percentage of 39.9%. Basically, they've got an entire lineup shooting 40% from beyond the arc on average. So they've got the floor spacing, but can they get stops? With Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo locking down the interior and guys like Drew Holiday, Anthony Edwards, and Jason Tatum containing the perimeter. The defense looks pretty solid too. I have to admit, this year's Team USA looks unbeatable. After last year's World Cup disappointment, they decided to get serious and brought in some of the biggest names in the NBA, all looking for revenge. With amazing dunks, legends playing together, and intense defense, Team USA has shown improvement with every friendly game. However, just like any other team, they do have weaknesses. We're going to dive into whether anyone can actually beat Team USA in the Olympics or if they're set to dominate. There's still a real chance they might not win the gold medal in Paris, and that's not even the worst part. Whether they win in 2024 or not, the future might not be as bright as they think. This might sound crazy, but it could really happen. Don't get us wrong, they're definitely the heavy favorites, and they'll most likely take home the gold, but it might not be the cakewalk everyone's expecting. Some of the issues Team USA faced in the last two FIBA World Cups and even in the recent Olympics are still relevant for this squad, no matter how stacked and well-built it is. If they don't win it all, it could easily go down as one of the biggest upsets in basketball history. Why? Because this Team USA roster is just insane. You've got three of the top 15 players of all time: LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. And if that's not enough, there's a fourth MVP in Joel Embiid. Sure that they might not all be in their prime, but they're still playing at an elite level. It's not just about the big names or their accolades. This team is one of the best constructed rosters in Team USA history. They've got the scoring covered with Curry, Durant, Embiid, and LeBron, but they've also addressed what hurt them in past competitions: lack of size. With Embiid and Anthony Davis holding down the center spot, they're set. And for defense, there are almost no weak links. If they wanted to, they could throw out an insane defensive lineup like Drew Holiday, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Davis. The craziest part, that lineup could still crush their opponents offensively. Plus, they've got plenty of playmakers to keep the ball moving. In the 2019 FIBA World Cup, Team USA lost to France. Not the end of the world, but still a disappointment. Then in the 2023 FIBA World Cup, they lost to Germany and Canada. It's clear they don't prioritize the World Cup as much, but not even bringing home a medal like in 2019 is pretty disgraceful. They did win the 2020 Olympics, but it wasn't the dominant showing we're used to. They lost to France in the group stage and struggled in the final against France again, just barely pulling off a 5-point win. It was probably their toughest run since the 2004 debacle. Now, this 2024 squad is definitely stronger than the 2004 and 2021 teams, but the gold medal isn't a lock yet. There are a few reasons for that. The competition has gotten a lot tougher. Most of the teams they'll face have at least one NBA player, and some have several. They could go up against Serbia with Nikola Jokic or Greece with Giannis Antetokounmpo. This doesn't mean these teams will beat the U.S., but it shows how the game is evolving. Team USA used to have all those best players in the world. Now that they have to play against them. Look at Team Canada, for example. They've got a real squad with players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, and Luguentz Dort. And these aren't just NBA players. They're great NBA players. When Steph's on the court, he's the main catalyst for everything. And I love how Coach Steve Kerr primarily uses him in off-ball actions before setting him up in direct pick and rolls. His duo with LeBron has been super efficient, and it's so cool to see these two legends on the same team. Team USA has an insane amount of offensive weapons, and the ball movement is great because these guys genuinely enjoy playing together and have embraced their roles, even if some are playing smaller roles than they're used to. Even when the opponents think they've played good defense, Anthony Edwards comes off the bench and does something spectacular to crush their hopes. It's like just when you think you've got them under control, Edwards drains a three or pulls off an amazing play. On defense, the second unit with Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo is a nightmare for opponents. The Americans switch everything, and their bigs are more than capable of keeping guards in front. Plus, their length causes havoc on the smaller FIBA court, especially with no defensive 3-second rule. This is a team with guys who can turn a game around in minutes. LeBron, Tatum, Booker, KD, and even Embiid, when he's not busy throwing elbows and fouling out, can all take over a game. There are 3 players who are guaranteed to start: Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. I know it sounds crazy to say that about the 3 oldest players on the team, but that's the reality. Outside of those 3, you could argue for anyone at the 2 guard and center spots, while many people say Joel Embiid is Team USA's best player, and he certainly was during the NBA regular season. It didn't look that way in the game against Canada. Anthony Davis looked like the most dominant big on the floor, owning the boards and providing easy offense as a lob threat and roller. That's why AD might be a better fit to start. Despite his reputation for being injury-prone or not giving full effort, Anthony Davis is a hardworking big who consistently makes an impact without needing the ball in his hands. Plus, he's a force on the defensive side of the floor. LeBron James still amazes everyone. Even at 39, he's doing things that seem to defy physics. When you see LeBron with some space, it's a reminder that he's almost superhuman. No one should be that fast, strong, and big. And what's wild is that you could say all these things about him now, even though he's about a decade past his athletic prime. It's just crazy. You know, when people talk about this USA team, they often overlook the fact that not everyone can be like LeBron James, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant. Every player has to play a role, even the stars. That's why someone like Tyrese Halliburton is so valuable off the bench. He's a knockdown three-point shooter, an elite playmaker, and he moves the ball well. If someone else is hot while he's on the floor, he's going to find that player. Then there's Drew Holiday, who proved in 2020 that he doesn't need the ball a ton to make a big impact, which is why the coaching staff was so keen to bring him over. And now we have the newest addition to Team USA, Derek White. If you've been watching him play, you'd know he's more than capable of playing a role for this team. Is he more talented or a better player than Jaylen Brown or Kyrie Irving? Maybe not, but are those 2 better scoring options than anyone in the USA's starting lineup? Probably not either. Derek White gives you a knockdown shooter, a great defender, and a good passer. It's like having 2 Drew Holidays out there, and as we saw with the Celtics, that makes you a very good team. Team USA has put together something incredible, a 12-man roster that's stacked with talent and undeniable NBA greatness. They've got the greatest shooter of all time, one of the greatest scorers ever, and a player who's easily in the top 2 all time. Plus, there's elite defense and some amazing young talent. Basically, if you can think of it, they've got it. This team has racked up 84 total All-Star appearances, 8 NBA MVP trophies, and 16 NBA championship rings. They've also got 11 Olympic appearances and 10 gold medals under their belts. It's a group of guys who have experience in both the NBA and the Olympic world, and they've been put together to cover every weakness that cost them any losses in the past. The toughest challenges for Team USA are definitely going to come from the 2 teams that beat them in the FIBA World Cup, Germany and Canada. Germany's got Dennis Schroeder and the Wagner brothers, while Canada's loaded with NBA talent, including Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, Lou Dort, RJ Barrett, and Dylan Brooks. Other teams could be a problem too, like France with the twin towers of Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama, or Serbia with reigning NBA MVP Nikola Jokic. But when you look at the roster strength, it's clear that the other countries have more to worry about than Team USA does. Stopping a team with a few NBA players or even a couple of really good ones is a lot easier than stopping a squad full of top-tier NBA talent. The Paris Olympics are Team USA's chance for redemption. A chance to represent the United States, put the world on notice, and prove their doubters wrong. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. If you enjoyed this one, you're definitely going to love the next video that's playing on your screen. Click to watch, and I'll see you there.